Good morning. As we already discussed in our previous session about Dalton's atomic theory, let us have a short recap of it. Right? Who proposed the Dalton's atomic theory? John Dalton. And in which year he proposed? 1808. On what basis he proposed this theory? Based on the characteristics of atoms. How many postulates he have given? 6 postulates. Among these 6 postulates, which is the highest drawback of his theory? Indivisible. Atoms are indivisible. Why this postulate is wrong? Atoms also can be divided further into electrons, protons and neutrons. So as per his postulates, he gave that atom is a indivisible particle. Right? So this postulate is proven wrong. And what is the other postulate which he proved wrong? Atoms of same element have same mass number and chemical properties. For which elements it was proven wrong? For isotopes. For isotopes, he couldn't able to explain his postulate, his property about these atoms for isotopes. Isotopes are the elements which have same atomic number but different mass number. Why we will get different mass number for isotopes? Because of number of neutrons. So for isotopes, he couldn't able to explain the postulate called atoms of same element are identical according to their mass number, mass and chemical properties. Now what is the other one he couldn't able to explain? Yes. Isobars. What is this isobars? The elements which have different atomic numbers but same mass number. What is his postulate? Atoms of different elements are different in their mass number and chemical properties, size and chemical properties. But for isobars, if you consider 2 elements like argon and calcium, argon is having 18 atomic number, whereas calcium is having 20 atomic number. When we see the mass numbers of argon and calcium, both have 40. So this pair of these elements is called isobars. According to the isobars, he couldn't able to explain his postulate. So there are few drawbacks of his theory also. Now about what he discussed all this? Atoms. So now we are going to learn about atoms in detail. Okay. What is an atom? Atom is the smallest unit of a substance. Have you seen mason building while he is constructing a building? Yes. What is the smallest thing he will use to construct a building? Brick. And what is the other one which he will use to construct that? Cement or sand. Right? So here bricks, cement and sand are the atoms which are used to construct a wall, and walls together forms a room, rooms together forms a building. Right? How these bricks are the smallest substances which are required for forming a big structure. In the same way, atoms are the smallest substances which are used to form molecules and compounds. Right? So atoms are the smallest particles. Can we say smallest particle here? We can say smallest unit. Okay. Why we are calling it as unit? There are a group of subatomic particles present in the atom. So we are calling it as a atom is the smallest unit of a substance. Right? See this smallest unit, When you take aluminum foil, aluminum foil contains what kind of atoms? Aluminum atoms. So aluminum foil contains all aluminum atoms only, isn't it? So when we take the small piece from the corner of the aluminum foil, even that small corner piece also contains million number of atoms. Yes, even this small piece also contains million number of atoms. Million number of atoms are stacked together even for the small piece. That means atoms are that small which cannot be seen through our naked eye, which can be seen only through microscope. Then how can we find the atomic size? Why we are discussing about atomic size, atomic radius? If we couldn't able to see with our eyes, how can we show the atomic size of so and so element is this much and so and so element is this much? They should have some units, right? For example, if you want to measure a distance between 2 points, what are the units you will use to measure the distance between 2 units? 2 points. It is meters. If it is long distance like kilometers. If while you are measuring the tip of a pencil, millimeters. Have you seen on a pencils, lead pencils, pencil pens, we can on that it will be written as 0.7 mm, 0.5 mm. What it shows? Thickness of the lid. Okay, thickness of the lid is 0.7 mm, not radius, thickness. Okay, so even the lid of a pencil is 0.7 mm, which we can see through our eyes, but the atoms are still more smaller when compared with this. Then what we'll use to measure the atomic radius or atomic size, atom size or radius? Nanometers. Atom size or radius can be measured by using nanometers. The symbol of nanometers will represent this nanometers as Nm. Then how this nanometers is related to meters?
1 by 10 power.
1 by 10 power what? 9. As you know, 100 centimeters make 1 meter. Right? So that means 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. We can write it as 10 square. Right? In the same way, 1 meter is equals to 10 power 9 nanometers. 10 power 9 nanometers. Nano means what? As you know, eka, di or bi, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta or septa, octa, nona or nano, and the 10th one is deca. If it is 1, we can call it as eka, single. 2, di or bi. 3, tri. 4, tetra. 5, penta. 6, hexa. Hexagon, octagon, you heard it, right? If it is 7, we can add sept or hept. And if it is 8, octa. 9, nano or nona. So you can easily remember that 1 meter is equals to 10 power 9 nanometers. You can relate this 9 with nano. Okay. In some cases you may forget how it is related. Instead of 9 you can write 8 or 10, because if you cannot remember easily, in the name itself it is the nanometer. Nano means 9. So 10 power 9 nanometers. So 1 nanometer is how many meters? 1 nanometer. As we discussed, 10 power 9 nanometers is equals to 1 meter. Yes? 1 1 nanometer is equals to 1 by 10 power 9 meters. 1 by 10 power 9 meters. So, I am writing this 10 power 9 as minus 9. So, 1 nanometer is equals to 10 power minus 9 meters. Yes? If you see water molecule is made of, water is H2O, it is made of, you can see the, so you go with the sources of water from lakes, rivers, ponds, coming to bucket and spoon, water bottle, spoon. The small drop, even a single drop of water contains millions of atoms. Millions of which atoms? Hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Okay. If you zoom, we can see that the smallest single water molecule like contains 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. Okay. In these 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, oxygen is bonded with hydrogen. So you can see 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen in water molecule. So the water molecule, the size of the water molecule is 1 nanometer. One water molecule size is 1 nanometer. Right? If one water molecule size is 1 nanometer, that means the atom, hydrogen atom is, size of hydrogen atom is still more smaller than that. Right? If one water molecule size is 1 nanometer, one water molecule, that means one H2O is 1 nanometer. It means that the size of hydrogen is still more smaller than this. 1 nanometer means 10 power minus 9. Then what will be the size of one hydrogen? 10 power minus 10. 10 power minus 10. You can have the list of sizes of some elements in your textbook. Next to the hydrogen, what is the other one? Water. That is 10 power minus 9. What is the size of hemoglobin? 10 power minus. So in this way, there are different sizes of atoms in different substances. Got it? This shows that every atom, for example, if you take 2 elements, in these 2 elements, the size of atom is entirely different. The size of atom also varies. If you take same atom, the size same. Okay, in some cases, except isotopes. Now, atoms, where these atoms are present? Where these atoms are present? In an element, right? Atoms are present in this chalk piece. Atoms are present in a wooden duster. Yes, in a gold foil, aluminum foil. Atoms present in us or not? With what we are made of? With what we are made of? Cells. The smallest living thing is cell, right? The smallest living thing is cell. We are made up of cells. Yes? Cells together called as tissue. Together, tissues together combines to form organ. Organs combines to form organ system. Next? Yeah. So, then how we are relating this cell to atom? Cell is bigger or atom is bigger? Cell is bigger because even in cells, atoms are present. So, when compared with cell, atom is the smallest substance. Is atom the smallest substance? Protons, electrons, neutrons are the smallest subatomic particles which are present in the atom. Coming to this, atoms you can find in elements. Elements are made up of n number of atoms, right? So, can we call these elements are pure substances?
No.
Who is telling no? Why we cannot call elements as pure substances?
Because so many atoms will present. Different kinds of atoms will present.
Different kinds of atoms will present, but in a particular element, let us take aluminum or gold or iron. Aluminum contains aluminum atoms only. It will not contain gold atoms, right? Aluminum contains all aluminum atoms. So it contains same kind of substance. If it contains same kind of substance, then we call it as a pure substance, right? If you take a 10 grams of sugar, sugar contains all 10 grams completely sugar molecules only, right? Sugar is a pure substance. When we mix this sugar with sand, that mixture doesn't contain all particles same, right? It doesn't contain all same kind of atoms. So that will not comes under pure substances. That is called as a mixture. So the substance which contains same kind of atoms is called element or pure substance. Which contain same kind of atoms. That same kind of atoms are present in elements. How many elements are there?
119.
119. Right? In this 119 elements, each element will have their own properties. It will not have same properties with the other element. Maybe some properties are similar, but there is a lot difference between two elements. Right? Now, let us discuss about these elements and how they got their symbols. Okay? How many elements we know? 119 elements. In these 119 elements, some elements, the symbols, why do we have symbols? First, who started giving symbols of the elements? He is none other than Dalton. Dalton is the first person who started giving symbols for the elements. Why we need symbols for anything? Why we need symbols for anything? Even in maths also. Why we need symbols? Short notation. To represent it in a short form. So for short notation, we require symbols. Right? Dalton is the first person who started giving symbols. He gave the symbols in the form of pictures. Yes? His representation is called as pictorial representation of symbols. What do you mean by pictorial representation? Yes? Through this pictorial representation, he gave the symbols of some elements. Not all the elements. For some elements, he gave the symbols. As he said, atom is a sphere-like substance. He gave that atom in the shape of a sphere. It is 2D, so it appears like circle, but the shape of an atom is in a sphere. If you consider atom as a sphere, then we can represent the elements by using some symbols. For example, if I place dot at the center, this is the symbol for hydrogen. If sphere is completely shaded, that is carbon. And if sphere is not shaded, that is oxygen. Not only this, he gave different symbols like SPR with single line, SPR with double vertical lines, and SPR with cross at the center. He gave different symbols for few elements only. Then, why we are not using this? We are not using this because it is highly difficult to remember all the symbols and to present in a proper way. Yes? If I give like this, if you don't know the symbols of this, then how can you say which symbol is what for which element? It is difficult, right? So, later on, after some studies, IUPAC, this union, they started approving the symbols and they have given the symbols. There are 4 rules for representing the symbols. Yes, before giving the 4 rules, first we have to learn about the symbols which are taken from the names of the scientists and which are taken from the place where they are originated, where they are found. Okay, few elements like germanium. Have you heard about germanium? Germanium, polonium. Have you heard polonium? Yes. Next. What is the other place? Argentinum. Yeah. Not only these 3, there are few more elements for which the symbols are taken from the places they are found. Okay, from the places. And some elements, the symbols of some elements are taken from the names of the scientists. Niels Bohr. Yes, borium. Rutherfordium. Einsteinium. You heard these names, right? Niels Bohr and Rutherford and Einstein. These names are taken from the names of the scientists. So the symbols are also given from the names of the scientists. Some are taken from the places where they are found and some are taken from the names of the scientists. And what about other elements?
Latin names and
Few elements are taken from their Latin meaning, Latin, Greek or English. Yes, few elements are taken from Latin language, Greek language and English. The word, what is the meaning of the word in that particular language, and they have given the symbols in that particular language. Let us see Latin, Greek and English. Okay, gold. Why gold is given as AU? Aurum. It is taken from the color. What is the color of gold? Yellow. Yes? So, yellow, the meaning of this yellow is aurum. Okay. So, gold is taken from the meaning, color of the substance. And some substances, some elements are taken from the Latin languages, the meaning in the Latin language. Sodium, by which word they'll call in that particular language? Potassium, copper, iron. So like this, there are few elements which were taken from the Latin, Greek and English language. Natrium here, that is why it is Na. And potassium, Kalium, Ka-Lium, that is K. And copper, cuprum, Cu-Prum, that is Cu. Iron, ferrum, Fe. Okay, So few are taken from the places, few are taken from the names of the scientists, few are taken from the color, and few are taken from the Latin language, Latin or Greek or English languages. Then what about other elements? How they have given the symbols of the other elements? Yes, by using their names. As we know, we have 119 elements, right? Yes? How many alphabet we have? 26. If we start giving the first letter, we have many repetitions in their symbols, right? Yes. So, for giving the symbols of the elements, there are some 4 rules. Basing on those 4, the names were given. The first one is first letter of the element. First letter of the element. Hydrogen, H. Oxygen, O. Carbon, very good. Sulfur, S. Why I am not telling about potassium? Because it is taken from the other language. So these are having first letter. Not only these, there are few elements which have first letter as their symbol. Then when we consider only first letter as their symbol, what about helium? Helium is also starts with H. So helium, if we give H for helium, then there is a lot of confusion with hydrogen, whether it is hydrogen or helium. So what they have done? They have started giving second letter also, right? So the next one is first letter of the element in capitals. First letter of the element in capital and followed by second letter in small. This is the second one. First letter of the element in capital followed by second letter in small. That is, for example, helium, He, lithium, Li, beryllium, Be, aluminum. Wait, zinc is not correct. Al. So these are the, not only this, we have few more elements which were given by using the first letter and second letter. While we are writing symbol with 2 letters, first letter is always capital, should be capital, and second letter should be small. When we write H and E, this is wrong. So if you write like this, H is another separate element and E is separate element. Yes? So if you write the symbol of any element, it should start with capital and it should end with small. Means the next letter should be small. And now the third one is, when we take first two letters, there is again confusion with some elements. So they started giving the symbols by using first letter and third letter. Why third letter? Because second letter is common for some elements. First 2 letters are common for some elements. That is why they started giving first letter and third letter. The third one is first letter of the element in capital followed by third letter in small. Let us take examples. Yeah. Magnesium, manganese. See these 2 elements. These 2 elements are having same first 2 letters. If we take first rule, it should have only M. Leads to confusion again. If we take second rule, that is MA, again confusion. So, start giving third letter. Magnesium Mg and manganese Mn. Right? This is one example for this. Other one, calcium and carbon. Ca for calcium and C for carbon. This is an example for first two. And tell me this, chromium. Huh? Chromium and chlorine. Two letters common, so Cr, Cl. Okay, in this way they have given the names, symbols of the elements. And now, not only this, we have some elements which are now they are existing in the periodic table. 119th element is ununanium. UUN. It is with 3 letters. If you observe the periodic table, few elements are with 3 letters. Yes, basing on these rules only, they have given the symbols of the elements. Right? If you write the symbols of the elements as CL, both capitals or both small, it gives completely wrong information. So you have to represent the symbols by using these rules. Okay, why pictorial representation is not using now? It is difficult to remember and leads to confusions. And next, what are the 3 rules for writing the symbols of the elements? First letter followed by the second letter, and first letter should be capital and second letter should be small, and first letter of the element is in capital followed by the third letter in small. These are the rules for writing the symbols of elements. Okay. Can you find any drawbacks in this? Can you find any drawbacks or any clashes between the elements when you write the symbols like this? No. You can remember them easily. If you remember the name, you can remember the element symbol. Right? Today you will get a worksheet basing on the symbols and Latin names and pictorial representation also. Go through the textbook and complete your worksheet. Got it? So that's all for today. Hope you all understood.